Welcome, everyone. We welcome you to today's session. So we welcome you all. My name is Isabel from EBPA, and it's a pleasure to see you all in this room here as we're going to start our conversation very soon. Before starting, I would like to briefly give also a brief overview of what is Better Incubation project. But before that, I would like to invite you all to rename you with your name and the name of your organization so that we can see who you are and where you're from. And feel free also to share this in our chat. So before we're gonna start our conversation, which will be led by my colleague here, Arnaud Picon from EBPA as well, who's gonna then also introduce our speakers, I briefly want to share with you a bit about Better Incubation project. So it's a 2-year program which started in 2021, which is funded by the EU, by DG Employment, and also co-led by EBN, EBPA, and Impact Hub. So some of our colleagues are also joining here, so welcome to you as well. And so the aim of this project is really to foster inclusive and social entrepreneurship here in Europe, and also to mobilize, to support and empower business support organizations, which are accelerators or incubators. And the aim is really to support them with capacities so that they can help also the social entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who are underrepresented, like minors, refugees, women, or people with disabilities, or even others, to support them as they grow in their business, to give them an environment to thrive, and also to have better connections with social investors. So it all started with Better Incubation providing capacity building, which was an important component. And now we've continued the activities as well with the Switch Pitch series, because now we also focus on the dimension of collaboration. And so these Switch Pitch series are different episodes where we invite social investors and impact business support organizations to have conversations together to share their mindset, their experience, also on the work on collaboration, to better support social entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who come from underrepresented groups. So it's my pleasure also to hand over to my colleague Arnaud, who's a research associate at EBPA, and he will moderate this conversation and also introduce to our speakers of today. So I give you the word, I give you the floor.
Thank you so much, Isabel, for this introduction, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And of course, thank you so much to the two speakers, Maria and Oscar. I'm going to introduce them in a minute. But first, I would like to remind you that the second half of this session will be more dedicated to your questions. So I really encourage every one of you to put your questions in the chat, and then while the speakers are representing their organizations, and then we will go through them during the Q&A session. Also, feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. So, like, tell us who you are, from what organization you're coming from, where are you joining from, so we can also get a better sense of who is here with us in the room. So now, yes, looking at our speakers, we have here Maria Mazot, who is Chief Operating Officer at Ship2B. She has long-standing expertise supporting early-stage startups and small and medium enterprises to scale up in Europe and also in the United States. And she is also an investor and entrepreneur herself. Hello, Maria. Also, we have here Oscar, who is the director of Capital Bizkaia since 2008, and since joining, he's been creating the Impact Fund in 2015, a microfinance institution, and also more recently a crowdfunding platform. Hello, Oscar, and thanks both of you for joining.
Hello.
Starting with Oscar, actually, SID Capital Bizkaia is defined as a provincial public company attached to the Department of Economic Promotion of the Provincial Council of Bizkaia, which is dedicated to the administration and management of various financing instruments. But maybe Oscar can say better what does it mean and can tell us a bit more about it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Arnau. Thank you very much to the team of EBPA to invite us and just to have the opportunity to show a little bit about what's happening in our region in Bizkaia, in the north of Spain. Can you see the presentation? Yes? Great. Okay, I will try to summarize in 10-15 minutes all the things that we're trying to bring to our regional area of Bizkaia. We are a quite different institution if you compare it with other public administration, because we try to focus in covering different gaps and different opportunities of the market, and we have been very innovative in creating tools. So I try to summarize all these things in 10 minutes, and I'm open to have conversations and questions with all of you. Okay, first of all, we are a public and private partnership. 51% of the company is owned by the local government, and most of the other shareholders are banks. Some of them are very well known, very powerful, like Santander and BBVA. But we have also local banks and cooperative banks and Banca Etica and other type of banks that are really involved in the atmosphere of creating a social impact environment. We have all those tools. We have been very active in creating tools. Some of them are very classical. We started with the Seed Capital Fund in 1999, so we have a long-term record in doing operations in seed capital startups. And we started to focus in social impact area in 2014, creating a microfinance tool and a fund, a social impact fund. So we have been quite active in this area since we started a long time ago doing these operations. We are focused on quality of services, respect the environment, social responsibility, and transparency and integrity. Because as we are part of the Bizkaia government, we are forced to have a high level in those areas. Those are the tools that we are managing. There are very different tools, but it's really, for us, it's really wonderful to mix it and to try to capture opportunities with the smallest, with the small tools, and to bring it up to the funds. We have our first fund that is focused in seed area. Second fund focused in early stage. The social impact fund. We have a Micro Europe, that's a new tool that we created, a venture capital company that we created this year. It's a fund of funds from microfinance. It's a result of a long track way that we decided to focus in creating social impact tools, but doing it with microfinance. I will show you in some slides how it works. We created this year also a fund of funds. We created in 2014 the microfinance institution tool that helps us a lot to know what's happening with the small companies. And we also created a crowdfunding equity platform in 3 years ago. That it's a equity crowdfunding platform that also focuses in some social impact companies. This is more or less the financial tools where with the logic and with the claims and with the amounts of money that we invest. It's in the social impact fund, we invest until 600,000 euros, but normally we try to invest around 100,000 euros per company. I will focus in the 3 tools in the microfinance institution, Micro Europe, crowdfunding platform, and also the most relevant, that is the social impact fund. Microfinance institution, it was created as I mentioned before in 2014. We provide loans up to 25,000 with a guarantee, with a fixed interest rate of 5%, with no guarantees, with an amortization period of 5 years. We provide to the ecosystem of Bizkaia more than 1,000 loans and more than 14 millions of euros. It's a really interesting tool for us, especially if you talk about the social impact fund, because it gives us the clue about what's happening in the small companies. And as we are also focusing, trying to help people in inclusion and trying to help other startups to grow, this tool gives us a lot of clues about what's happening with the smallest one, and give us also the opportunity to capture the smallest one and to try to accelerate them. So for us, it's very relevant, and it's supposed to be a risky tool, but in fact it works very well and it's very interesting. The Micro Euro project is a completely different project. It's a project venture capital company created in Bilbao. Was created by Fitras, C Capital, and Banca Etica from Italy. So it's a combination of different key investors focusing on the social impact area. And we raised 1 million euros with other small investors, and we are trying to capture 40 million euros to provide liquidity to the smallest microfinance institution in Europe, just to provide liquidity to the companies, to the small companies. This project is a strategy of the Bizkaia government, just to capture new funds related and close to social impact area. Okay, crowdfunding Bizkaia, it's the first public platform. We are focusing equity because we know a lot of investments, and we want to share and to provoke a lot of investment of citizens in the coolest companies in Bizkaia, in the Basque Country. So we create this tool, and we try to bring at least one project per year, focus only in social impact. And it's also relevant to try to push to the citizens to invest in the best projects that we can offer to the Basque Country. And the social impact fund, as I mentioned before, we invest up to 600,000. We could do it with capital, with participate loan. We got combine also the capital and participate loan. Our objective is to consolidate innovative business initiatives with social impact. And we also invest in companies that are in the area of the Bizkaia in the Basque Country. If we compare ourselves with other social impact funds in Spain, I would say that we invest more money than other small social impact funds. We are focusing being a little bit of venture builder and accompanying. We try to travel to find potential investor. We help them with legal documents. We help them to incorporate co-investors. We promote the scalability and internationalization. We are also very aware of the value of the social impact, and we try to help them to measure the social impact. It's a big effort that we are doing with this fund in this area, but it's really relevant. And for us, we created Social Angels program that it's a way of connecting people with recognized professional experience that they finish their professional career. And we try to convince them to be part of the board of our investment. So it creates a lot of opportunities of networking and a lot of things. It's a social angel program. It's working really well, and we are working a lot in this area. We invest in education, in culture, on health, in social inclusion, and in circular economy. We decide to invest only in these 4 areas. We also invest in clean tech and other bioscience, biotechnology, but we invest with the other funds. We are very focused in try to be very pure in this aspect with the social impact fund. This is our current portfolio. We have around 13 investments and growing, and we expect to invest at least 2 or 3 investments this year. And we are very happy in this side because we have deal flow, and the deal flow is growing. And the partners where we try to collaborate and to bring investments, the accelerators and incubators are more or less those guys. Mecha was the first accelerator in the Basque Country. Wise guys are people from Estonia. we signed an agreement with them 2 months ago. They are one of the focus that they are trying to grow. It's the sector of health and also specifically the silver economy, and we're trying to bring some opportunities for other countries to the Basque Country. And we also collaborate with Demion, that's a venture builder, with Common Club, that's a club of investors, business angels. That's also, some of them are really compromised with their investments and trying to accelerate. So we are really, really happy to collaborate with Common. Also with Pricewaterhouse, that is, it's really focusing creating an accelerator program in Biscay. But most of them, they are not focused in social area. They do things in the social impact area, but they are also bringing fintech companies and industry companies, so they're not really focused, except BBK, that is a foundation, it's part of a big bank in the Basque Country. They are really working hard in this area, and they are trying to bring investments in this file. They don't have a unique tool to invest, but they are really providing grants and helping to the smallest, so it's a nice partner for us. But the Bizkaia government decided to go further, and we create different programs to accelerate or to incubate. And one of the three things that we are creating is the Negocio Intelligence Center. It's focusing silver economy. It's trying to create an atmosphere of big networking between enterprises that are focusing economy and activity around aging, health, and long-term care. It's a project between the public administration, the University of Mondragon, that is the University of Mondragon Corporation, linked to cooperatives, also the private sector, and also our public administrations. It's a co-working space. It's in a building in Biscay, and we gave the opportunity to stay there up to 12 months with a lot of support, of a lot of connecting opportunities with other investors and other shareholders, and a lot of knowledge. It's a project that it started 2 years ago, and it's really working well, and for sure will provide for us the new deal flow. We also created this year an acceleration program. It's not only focusing social, it's focused in a lot of types of startups. It's a public acceleration programs. We bring university, we bring the board of advisor, we bring investment until 100,000. And we also give the ones that are selected, give the opportunity to go to the new center, International Center of Entrepreneurship, that we are going to open in 3 weeks. On the center, this is the thing, some of the things that we are doing in this capacity of acceleration, leadership, internationalization, board governance, fundraising, culture, talent, hiring, product technology, scale up. So a lot of things that we're going to provide. And for last, I will focus in the International Entrepreneurship Center. That is something that we are going to open in 3 weeks. It's 10,000 square meters of for startups. It's going to be a step by step. It's a project in the center of our city. It is going to be managed by Pricewaterhouse and Talent Garden, and Impact Hub is going to play also a relevant role, very interesting for us because it's going to help us to build an ecosystem in social impact area. And it's going to be really, really powerful project because we are trying to capture new opportunities in this area for the area of the Basque Country with a lot of support of grants and investment. So, as I mentioned, we have a lot of things. We're very close to some incubators, accelerators, but the government of Bizkaia, the Basque Country, it's really focused in creating their own tools to combine it with ours to bring a lot of opportunities to here to the Basque Country. But that's all. Thanks. I'm open to answer.
Thank you very much, Oscar. I see there are no questions for you yet, but maybe we can go with Maria, and then we will have an open Q&A with both of you. So Maria, thanks again for joining. Maria, as I mentioned before, is coming from Ship2B, whose mission is to boost impact economy, so that startups and business and investors and organizations not only maximize profitability but also improve their social and environmental impact. So Maria, maybe you can tell us more about Ship2B and yeah, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Hi, Arnau. Thank you so much for the introduction and thank you for the invitation to be here today. Oscar, very interesting everything that you explained about País Vasco and how you are managing and all the different initiatives that you have to promote economy over there. Very interesting. And we are happy to collaborate and that we are happy that we have some portfolio companies together. So I'm happy to share this panel with you. Ship2B has been in the market for years. We launched the foundation. Just a second, because my slides doesn't go. Here. We were to boost the impact economy, a new economy model that seeks to maximize the triple profitability, economical, social, and environmental. What we say is that we want to support impact entrepreneurs to lead their startups, to lead their companies through impact, not because of impact, just through impact. So we focus in 3 different challenges. The first one is health and quality of life. Second one is sustainability and environment. And the third one is education and social. And how we do that, how we drive this impact, we do through different models or different bases. The first one, we have been doing this for 9 years. So it's not that we are starting right now. We are established in Spain. Our focus is Spain, and we are growing now to the rest of Europe. We have been already accelerating more than 200 startups. According to the FUNCAS report, we are #1 accelerator in Spain for impact accelerators and #5 for general accelerators. So we have a methodology and we know how we are doing it, and we are doing it right. We have been transforming more than 63 social entities through this 9 years. We accompany more than 30 companies through our open innovation and our consultant department. We have been financing more than 30 projects inside with some of our spin-offs or with our own fund. We channeled 59 million euros. We have a fund inside of the foundation that is the Equity for Good fund, that it's a pre-seed fund, that it's 4.5 million. And 3 years ago, because we saw the need to create, to have more capital in the table for impact entrepreneurs, we did a spin-off from the foundation for the Ship2B venture. The Ship2B venture first fund, it's a 55 million fund that invests in impact entrepreneurs here in Spain and in the rest of Europe. And then we have achieved more than 106 million euros, sometimes from our funds, sometimes from our investor network, that people that has been investing in our projects. For example, when we co-invest with Oscar in some of our alumni. So the next slide.
Oh, sorry, Maria. I think you muted yourself.
Much better. So we organize the foundation in 4 big structures. The first one is Impact Tech, that is the labs that we are focusing in technology. Then we have Impact Innovation, that it's consultant work for big companies and open innovation. Impact First, working with social entrepreneurs and impact first entrepreneurs. And the impact ecosystem, that basically is our big event. Once a year, we try to canalize all the impact ecosystem here in Spain. With one big event where we talk, we discuss, we analyze which one is the situation and which ones are the changes that we need to apply in order that we will be more efficient next year. Of course, everything is based on impact management. Impact is our core. Any initiative that we accept any project that we decide to accelerate, any project that we decide to invest, have to have a core on impact. And the second one, it's investment, because it's not just enough to have a methodology, it's not just enough to accelerate a company. We have to be sure that we have the network to put the money in the table in order that that project can really grow and go to the next level. And this is how we work. The next slide is going to show you our core impact tech. Those are our accelerator programs. At this point of time, we have, over the 9 years, we have had different accelerator programs. At this point of time, we have 2 of them, health and care and tech for climate. Those accelerator programs, we are running them with our partners. And for health and care, we are working with COFARES, we are working with DKV, we are working with ACBAR, CINFA, JORI, Fundación 11, and oops, going down, and JORI lawyers. It's an accelerator program that has two cohorts per year, and that we base it in our strategic partners. We have partnerships across the Spain with the main hospitals, with the main pharmas, with the main actors in the ecosystem, in order that we can ensure that the startups that are accessing this lab will be able to scale and to have pilots on those hospitals. The second big accelerator program for technology is the Tech for Climate. It's based on the circular economy, is based in sustainability. It's based in trying to answer the challenges that we have currently in our planet. And our main partners for this lab is ACBAR, Repsol, Nestlé, IKEA, and Cushman. Right now, we are working to define which ones are the challenges for these 2 labs for 2023. And I welcome everyone in this conference to join us and be partnered with us in these labs for 2023, because it's really a challenge that we have in the table. And as mentioned before, the accelerators are not possible if the investment is not there. So we have a key focus on investment for these accelerator programs. We have an angel network of more than 400 members that they get follow-ups and information about the startups that we have in our accelerators, and not just the ones that are currently in our accelerators, but the 120 alumni that we have through these 9 years in our accelerators. And we base the growth of our startups in our networks and in supporting them to close the round for the next one. And on top of that, in this impact tech area, what we realized is that we need to work for the next generation of investors. We need to work to be sure that the people that in the future will be able to be business angel, or the people that it's able to be business angels because they are already part of a family office, or they are already part of they have capital in Spain or outside of Spain, and in the future will be able to support this innovation ecosystem. We want to educate them. We want to be sure that they are ready. And it's because of that that we launched last year the Next Generation program, a program that is very successful, and that we are presenting our alumni to this next generation, and that they are doing their first investments in our own alumni. And we are educating them how to do it and how to go through our due diligence and how to select the deals that makes more sense for their own portfolio as business angels. The next, here you have just some data of some of the startups that have been in our accelerator programs. Koiki is the one that Oscar and we co-invest together. But you can Silvestris, we co-invest with Repsol. You have a Sense of Care that we can co-invest with a Dutch venture. Our idea is always trying to co-invest with someone. We are not a venture capital. We are a foundation. We have a spin-off of a venture capital, but we are a foundation. And what we want to do is to create enough quality and enough pipeline of impact entrepreneurs to be sure that the pipeline is there in Spain for the venture capitals to invest. Next big model here in the foundation is the Impact Fairs. Impact Fairs is led by my colleague and friend, Cristina San Salvador, and plenty of you know her. We launched different venture philanthropy programs combining and first financing one. But this is not private equity, this is loans and soft investments. And for self-sustained projects or projects with low returns. On the other side, we have the startups, and we are investing in private equity. Here, we are investing more in loans, and we are finding or trying to find those partners that want to work with us. At this point of time, we have already in the market 3 programs that are very successful. The B-Value has been plenty of years. Our main partner is Banco Sabadell. And then we have the Scale for Impact that with our main partner Thinkers, and Tina with the Fundación Carraso that is more focusing in project of sustainability, food, and citizens and art. Again, 3 very successful programs. The pipeline here, the need in Spain for this type of projects and this type of loan, it's big. And we are just in the beginning of the iceberg, right? So we are working, there are plenty of need, and there are plenty of people that it's interested to continue working on that. And on top of that, from this department, we do some consulting. We advise philanthropic organizations how to manage those philanthropic organizations and how to get a better, more efficient management of the same ones. We have been doing it for years, and we are now in the position to support this type of organizations to grow. Impact innovation is the part that it's our consultant vertical. So we will do impact business strategy and impact management for big corporations. We do open innovation, we do impact innovation projects, and we work in the corporate of the culture. We believe that we cannot ignore the corporations. The corporation have a big role in the innovation ecosystem for impact entrepreneurs. And the more that we support those corporations to switch the mindset to an impact mindset, the more our startups and our ecosystems will get the benefits of that. And it's because of that that we are working close with organizations like IKEA, like DAM, like plenty of them, to because they see the need to move to a more impacting organization, and we are there to support them. And then I was mentioning at the beginning our big event, the Ship2B Impact Forum. It's a congress that it's a reference in the impact economy in Spain. We have been doing it since 2017. Here you have some of the KPIs of the last edition, so it's not a small thing, it's a big event in Spain. This year it's going to be on the 29th of November and the 30th of November. And we are inviting all of you to join us that day. The idea is to building a new future that requires more leadership. And what we are trying to do is to have, what we will do this year is that we will have some show time, that we will have key speakers that will talk about blue economy, will talk about open innovation, will talk about all the challenges that we have in the future, and that will be an open space, but we will have as well breakout rooms and workshops in a closed door, that we will talk about the specific challenges that we have, that our partners have, that the ecosystem have, and we will try to find solutions in Spain for those challenges, and how a Spain market is going to put their small piece in order to solve those global challenges. That is going to be again the 29th and the 30th of November, and I invite all of you to approach to us and to join us those days. And here you have some key factors of this event. And then, because we are here talking about money, I want to focus a little bit more about the 59 millions that came from the foundation, not about our network and our network deploying capital, but ourselves deploying capital. In 2016, we created inside of the foundation our first vehicle. It was the Equity for Good. It's a 4.5 million vehicle that it is full deployed at this point of time, and it's deploying pre-seed money, 100 to 200,000 tickets in alumni of Ship2B. And then in 2019, we realized that that was not enough, that we need to do something else to support the ecosystem. And it's because of that, that from the foundation, we had the spin-off of Ship2B Ventures. It's and the first fund of Ship2B Venture, it's a 55 million fund. It's investing in Series C and Series A, and not anymore just in Spain. It's investing in the whole Europe. Maite and Xavier Pont are the general partners of this fund, and the tickets that they are doing is 500 to 1 million tickets. We invest in health and care, climate change, and education. Those are the three verticals that we invest through the Ship2B Ventures First Fund. And usually it's equity, but it can be safe and convertible notes as well. At this point of time, we already deploy in 8 companies, but there is still plenty of capital to be deployed, and our managing directors are working in that portfolio to have it strong. We invest in Ship2B Foundation alumni, but in Ship2B in the rest of the market as well. That is all I have for you today. I am happy to answer any question that you can have, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Maria. It was very comprehensive and super complete. So thanks for this presentation. I would like now to encourage the audience to go ahead with questions. Feel free to either type them off the chat or mute yourself and go ahead. I see we have a first question here from Marco. He's asking, how do you select your investments according to the capital or asset threshold or guarantees they need to have to be eligible for your investments? And also a specific question to Oscar related to the use of ESF funds in your social investment fund. How do you use them? And in case, how do you manage their administrative complexity? Maybe let's start with this more particular question, Oscar, and then the general one.
Yeah, it's nice questions, Marco. We don't have money from the European Social Fund. We raise, we did an increase in capital of the fund 2 years ago, and we incorporate Banca Etica and 2 foundations in our fund. Fundación Anesbat and Fundación San Prudencio. There are 2 foundations of the Basque Country that one of these was really compromised with social impact investment, especially in Africa. And the other one, it's a foundation that is trying to know what's happening and what's going on social impact. So we're trying to help them just to know how to do investment, how to analyze, and other things. So we started the fund with money of the public administration, and then when we did a track record and when we need to capture more money, we invite some foundations and a bank to incorporate to our fund. So we try to manage this lack of liquidity with different strategy, not with the ESF. And how do you select your investment? Okay, our fund is focused. We could do big investments. Big investment, 600,000. It's really amount of money. But we are trying to push hard with the smallest one. So we are trying to analyze small operations of 50K, 100K. We are trying to bring in new investors. Some of them are really compromised with social, but others no. So we are trying to show them that there is a big opportunity of creating impact and also earning a little bit of money with us. So we are trying to do custom-made solutions for startups. We are not doing this with the other funds. We are focusing a lot of energies with a social impact fund. because we want to show that it really works and it's really powerful for our community to focus on this. So first of all, we have our own money with some private investors, 2 foundations and 3 banks. And second, we are trying to bring custom-made solutions for our startups, focusing on them and investing a lot of energy, but doing it with a lot of calm and trying to go step by step.
Hi, from our side, when we are talking about we have 2 vehicles. One is the Equity for Good, and that was the investment thesis was to invest in alumni from Ship2B. It's a pre-seed fund, and of course, because they are alumni from Ship2B, all of them impact is the core. And then after the spin-off with Ship2B Ventures, Ship2B Ventures thesis, as mentioned, it's market. They need to be from a specific market, and the majority of the capital of the first fund is going to deploy in Series A or seed, but the fund as well. Because the knowing about this gap that Oscar was mentioning about this 100,000 ticket, that really we have a big challenge in Spain to cover, and the fund reserved capital from the fund to be invested in pre-seed. And this pre-seed, the investment thesis for this pre-seed are smaller companies that the valuation is it's depending on the market, but definitely it's smaller, and that it needs to be in Europe, it needs to be in the markets that we are investing, and it needs to have KPIs that measure the impact on those ones. And then when we are thinking in our network, the 400 business angels or other venture capitals that are in the Ship2B Foundation network depend on each of them. Each business angel, as you know, have their own investment thesis. And what we have all in common is that we invest in impact entrepreneurs. That is the common that everyone have in Ship2B. But the thesis depending of the investor.
I'm still muted. Thank you both for these answers. Yeah, Oscar, I don't know if you wanted to build more. No.
I could say that Marco suggested that to manage the administrative things is really complex, and he's right. But we have a management company that is focused in doing this. We have a lot of funds and different tools, and we have a management company that is really specialized in managing the administrative complexity. We are also regulated by the Spanish regulator. We have also a lot of auditories, a lot of things, and I will say that the strength of C Capital is that they have a management company really focused in doing this, and also specialized in creating new tools. So for us, there is no complexity in this. For sure, if you are a small venture capital company, you only have one tool. You have to face a lot of things around administrative area, especially if you are asking money for the European Investment Fund, because they will ask you for a lot of things. So the complexity is growing. But in our case, we started this company in 1989, so we have a long-term record, administrative team. It's easy for us. I would say not easy, but it's quite easy for us to face that adversity of administrative complexity.
Thanks for the clarification as well. Yeah, since the focus of today it's also on collaboration, maybe I would like to have a follow-up question for both of you. Oscar, you mentioned that many of your partners for your acceleration program come more from the mainstream area and have less focus or less knowledge on social impact. So what's a bit the rationale behind that, and also how do you select them? And actually similar for you, Maria, how do you select the partners of your acceleration programs? And also if you also collaborate with other incubation programs or accelerators for the impact first area or for the Ventures First Fund, will be also great to dive a little bit on this.
Yeah, in our case, I have a clear limitation that it's and we're owned by the public local administration, so we are focusing in creating deal flow and opportunities in our region, in the area of Bizkaia in the Basque Country. So we are not able to create big bridges with other accelerators of Madrid or Barcelona because they are focused in their area and they are not focused in Bizkaia. Most of our collaborators, they are locals. They try to bring opportunities. And I think that the best thing about creating bridges with them is the transparency. For us, it's really relevant to have a clear view of what are they doing and how are they supporting small companies or startups. And I think that for them also, they want to know how we work and how we help, how we take care of their investments if they present us opportunities. So I will say definitely that transparency and knowing each other very well, I think it's really relevant to get to agreements. Sometimes the agreements are not signed, are agreements of knowing each other step by step, and it's our historical relationships. And I think that for us, it's really clear to be open and to be transparent in their strategy. It helps a lot to try to find solutions to investment problems and also to try to cover the gaps efficiently. I think that's the key in our case.
Yeah, I think that for us is quite similar. I think that when we're thinking a partner, it has to be, we always have our mission in mind when we think if a partner it will be a good fit or not for working with Ship2B. So we are here to promote the impact economy, right? So a partner has to be in a way going to be that making that possible. And that is when we are thinking about partners for the foundation or when we are thinking for partners for any of the specific accelerator programs that we have or for the investment part or whatever partner that we are thinking in the foundation. And what I think it's important is that to make this change, we as a foundation, we need to talk with everyone in the ecosystem, and not just in the ecosystem in Spain, in the ecosystem in Europe, and the ecosystem in the global ecosystem, because I don't think that we can work anymore locally in just one. We have to focus in one region, we have to focus locally, but we have to have an open mind and seek for those partnerships globally or on a much bigger scale. To be sure that we impact locally. And that is what we are doing. We are making partnerships. And as Oscar was saying, we have our biggest history. We have plenty of relations that are working for years, and that it's just about trust. And we have some of those partners that has been trusting the foundation for many years, and that we trust them and they trust us, and we keep working together.
That's great, Maria. Thank you so much, and also Oscar. Chiara, I think I see you have a big question here. Maybe if you want to just unmute yourself and share this reflection that you were posing in the chat.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi. Thank you very much, Maria and Oscar, for these talks. Very interesting. So I'm part of the Better Incubation project on the side of EBN, the European Business Innovation Center Network. And so I work on a daily basis with incubators, accelerators, and with the Better Incubation program, we are helping the so-called mainstream business support organizations to better understand not only the added value, but the relevance of working more and more with social or impact-driven entrepreneurship and inclusive entrepreneurship. And it takes time to make this cultural shift. And the way I see it is that if we take actors one by one, it's even more difficult than showing them that this is not something that it's of their own interest only, but it's something that it's affecting the whole the whole ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, as Maria just said, not only at regional level, but even more widely. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts, as we are now entering the end of the project, and we are, collecting inputs in order to send messages to the wider ecosystem, incubators, investors, and also policymakers on how we can really shape a bit because I think it's the time, it's a good time also looking at what's happening around us. So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you.
I go first? Yes. Yeah, I think that, as you mentioned, there is different levels that we can influence. There are different, so from an investment perspective, there are plenty of things that we should change. And as you mentioned, the needle is not easy to change, right? This cultural mind that impact investment will give you less returns than regular investment is not easy to change. And for old-fashioned investors, that is very hard to change, right? So doing the change, I think that it's a collaborative approach. It's showing the numbers. It's showing that the returns are there. That we have already statistics that are showing that that the returns are there. I am, as mentioned at the beginning with Arnau, I am an investor in the States. I lead an organization that is named BAMA. That it's Business Angel Minority Association in BAMA, and in BAMA we invest on diverse entrepreneurs, women and immigrants, and the statistics are showing that they are giving 20% more returns than the regular entrepreneurs. 20%, it's a lot. As an investor, I want that. I want that return, right? So it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of education for investors. And it's why in Ship2B, we are launching this next generation program, because it's hard to educate the current generation. We are doing our part. We are doing our trying to change minds. But it's easier for me to educate the next generation and be sure that we are putting the seeds over there in order that in 10 years, the capital will be more in this part of the entrepreneur, or for impact entrepreneurs, right? So I think it's a collective approach. It's a matter of I am convinced it's going to be there, right? It just keep working, and we will arrive at some point.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to suggest is that although in our case we are regional and we play a regional role, we are very focused in be connected with other European institutions and with other European investments. For example, I see that FitTrust it's connected, and we have a very close relation with FitTrust. And we have also connections with other social impact funds around Europe. And one of the things that we are trying to build is real connections with other social impact funds, so they could invest in our companies and connect them to other markets. I think that's a really good point, because it will give the opportunity to our portfolio to grow, or to at least share the experience with other markets and with other investors. I think that we have a big opportunity in Europe to create really cool companies, and we are, for us, it's more or less the same to co-invest with the Spanish fund, and also to co-invest with an European social impact fund or European foundation. So we are really working hard in that area, and it's also something difficult, but I think it's possible, because we've done with some other companies. So I think that it's something that could also provoke a different scenario for startups that are doing very well in inclusion, and for startups also doing very well in education. So I think that this kind of networking between European entities, and in our case, could help to create a very attractive scenario for the startups and also for investors. So I think that it's really relevant for us, the work that we are doing at that point. And as I mentioned before, for the microfinance tool that helps us a lot to know what's happening with the small companies, it's profitable in our case, and it's providing very good numbers. And also, the more relevant thing is that it's showing us that what's happening with the smallest one, and we are also doing inclusion and helping smaller. So I think as experience and something similar as business angels are doing, I think it's quite relevant sample of going further.
Can I ask a question now? Hi, it's really interesting to hear about these experiences, and I think we chose both of you as speakers today because you combine the acceleration incubation activities with funding. And this is, I think, very interesting for the incubation and innovation sectors. So we understand you also partner with other types of organizations. But do you think this is kind of the advice you would give to acceleration programs or incubation programs that wants to deal with social impact, that you need also to secure find a way to secure some funding to these social ventures because the market is not ready yet? I mean, what are really the reasons? I know you come from different, probably rationale, because I think Ship2B started with the foundation and the incubation program, whereas Oscar, for you, probably it was a follow-up decision. So it's interesting to compare your different experiences on this.
You go first, Oscar?
Yeah, I think that probably it happens in Spain and in other countries. Most of the funds they want to go to the less risky area, and so we have to try to reinvent and to try to find solutions to cover the gaps. So in our case, we try to draw collaborations, and as we wanted to go further and to accelerate the possibility of creating a big deal flow, big portfolio, we decided to try to manage as public administration and to create our own tools. It's really difficult to do funding. I think all the shareholders, they want to create impact, but also they want to have a return. They want to show their entities that they're doing also more things than impacting. And you have to combine strategies, and you have to be smart in that point. It's not easy, but it's possible. So I think it's a kind, in our case, it's a kind of different combination of different tools that provides the best opportunities and provides also the opportunity to share it with other investors. I think it's not only the key of creating a good portfolio. I think also the opportunities goes to try to find smartest investors and to find other entities that will join us. I think it's a combination of both things. At the low level, creating tools that are not in the market because maybe it's too risky, and further create an interesting landscape to other investors. I will say that also we could create new social impact investors, because some of the funds are really interested in knowing what's happening with this atmosphere, and I think it's easy to convince them at least to do some kind of trials, and I think that it's a really good moment for social impact funds. And we have to do big efforts, because we have to convince that it's profitable. We have to convince that we are going to do impact, but we have to cover also the gaps. In our case, the public administration are unlucky, because the public administration understood that it was a must for us to focus on this. And they are pushing hard, and they'll do a lot of efforts to maintain all the tools, and in fact we are thinking in increasing. So I have to say that my public administration it's really passionate, and it's really compromised. So it's a combination of investing, bringing investors to landscape, and also pushing hard because nobody wants to be risky.
Yeah, I completely agree with Oscar, and I think that for me, and sometimes people is like, why you want to collaborate with them? They are your competitors. Maria was like, we need to collaborate if we want to grow as ecosystem. It's just a matter of putting the rules on the table, but we need to collaborate even with our competitors. And then when you were talking, Sarah, about accelerator, investor, we started as an accelerator program for the foundation, and then we launched it. We had the spin-off for the venture capital. And I think that it's like the egg and the chicken, right? What is going first and both are needed. You need accelerator programs to ensure that the impact pipeline that you have has quality and scale in the level and in the speed that needs to scale, because without the scale, right accelerator programs will not scale. And if that doesn't scale, the investment that the investors will do will fail. But you need the investors as well in order that those entrepreneurs can scale, right? So you need both sides of the coin always. And you need to have partnerships with, even if you have your own capital, like we are trying Ship2B to bring our own capital, never will be enough. We need to have partnerships with other accelerators, with other capital, with more capital locally in Spain and internationally as well, to ensure that this pipeline that we are generating will have the capital ready when they are ready to scale. So partnerships is the key for the success for me.
Thank you. That was very, very interesting.
Thanks, Sarah, for the question, and both of you for your answers. I think this last sentence of Maria is great for closing the session. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. I see there are no more questions, so maybe we can already close the session. Again, thank you so much, Oscar and Maria, for your collaboration. I will just give the floor to Isabel, that will take like a couple of minutes to close the session.
Yes, thank you, Arnaud, and also thank you to Oscar and Maria for sharing about your work and your experience. So just a couple of words before closing in regards to the next steps of our Better Incubation program. We will have 2 more switch pitch episodes, and so we would like to invite you to join us. On the 8th, it will be with Jean-Michel Leguier from Inco, with a focus on France. And then afterwards, on the 27th of September, we will have Markus Freiburg from Phase with us. And so, yeah, we invite you to join this journey. And then as well, some updates about the Better Incubation contest. So there have been applications that were due until the 22nd of August. Now is the phase of evaluation. And we would like to invite you for our EVPA Impact Week, where we're gonna also have the winners of this contest pitching. So that will be also the final event for our Better Incubation project. So we hope to see you there. We thank you very much that you could join us today, and we wish you a good day.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.